Hey fragrance lovers and enthusiasts, welcome back. It's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel. Thank you for stopping by today. I do appreciate you. And today we're going to be talking about Yuja from the house of Scents by Bay, new indie niche brand on the scene. I got a lot to say about this one, so strap in and buckle up and let's talk about this gorgeous scent. So first off, this fragrance is focused and named after Yuja. And I don't know if y'all have ever heard of this. I'd never heard of it before. I think it's from Korea. And it's supposed to be more of a sweet, bitter type of citrus. And with the name, it just put yuzu straight into my mind. But this doesn't smell like yuzu. Yuzu has a distinct, almost aldehydic, almost yellow floral quality about yuzu. But it is more of a lemon type of smell. This is a lemon, but has more of a sour sweet combination kind of going on. It almost has a little bit, just a little bit of savoriness in the background, and I find it fascinating. Off the top, there's some lavender with this Yuja. That's really the focus of this fragrance. In the dry down, in the mid, there's some rose and some rosewood and a few other notes, but they don't really stand out to me. In the base, there's supposed to be some driftwood, which I do smell the modern kind of dry woods, but the driftwood kind of quality is coming through actually in a really big way, but it smells almost more of that, almost like airy kind of wood kind of quality about it. It really doesn't have as much weight as you'd think it would be, but it's nice. There's some honey and supposed to be some coffee in this fragrance as well. To my nose, there's really not a lot of honey, but the honey I do get out of this fragrance actually does smell a little bit more on the animalic side of honey. So there's not the richness or the sweetness or the smoothness of honey, but there is a little touch of that animalic quality that honey can have. Perfumers can use, which I find is fascinating as that they chose that in this fragrance, adding some complexity and kind of some lift coming from the base. So the coffee really doesn't come through to me at all. I don't know what kind of coffee this is. Maybe it's a yellow coffee. Maybe it's a green coffee, a very, very young, light kind of brew. It doesn't come through in the fragrance to me really much at all. I do find this fragrance fascinating. I think that this is kind of like a very modern take on what a Chypre can be with those yellow aldehydes kind of qualities, with freshness and citrus and lemons. And then, of course, you add some almost animalic touches to it. This is a very modern, wearable, and serious, pretty darn seriously good quality, modern, kind of Chypre fragrance. But it's not so. I've never liked Chypres for the most part. Chypres have almost never worked for me, and I would never wear a Chypre. That's just not my style. It's not my thing. I have had ladies come to me a time or two and have asked, where are some Chypres? Where can I find them? Do people really make them? And people, just don't hear about Chypres every day. So I do have to say that this is one of the best modern interpretations of a Chypre that I have smelled in a darn long time. And it has a fascinating Yuja citrus note. So this might be a real winner. I think that it's a good creation overall. Overall, the rosewood and mixed with the driftwood at times can kind of take this fragrance, in my opinion, more in a woody direction, which I don't think was the intention. Depending on your skin chemistry, I think the rosewood can come out a little bit too much on your skin. If you don't know what rosewood smells like, it can smell a little bit like magnolia, like this interesting, almost like creamy white floral kind of quality. And it can also have a signature glossiness. All woods have a different smell, believe it or not. And I have smelled rosewood. I have actually worked with the wood. I like crafting and all kinds of things. So, interesting fragrance, well done. A little bit more woody and a little bit more citrusy than you would expect for a Chypre. It certainly does not focus on the aldehydics and doesn't focus on the animalic qualities that a lot of traditional Chypres might have done in the past. So, what do I think about the performance? On this one, it gave me similar performance to Viola. It gave me about 7 hours. It's not bad at all. It actually has fairly average projection and pretty good sillage, but it lasts about 7 hours on skin. On clothes, it'll easily get you through a workday, 8 hours plus. It does a great job overall with its performance, and it smells darn good overall. So, for what its composition is, despite, it not being my personal preference. Compliment factor wise, I did let some ladies smell it. They found it that was interesting. They found that it was different. They did find it that it was a little bit more mature. It's not something that the average lady might like these days. It's probably out of vogue, but this one is brought to the 20th century. It is an interesting twist. Might be considered a little bit retro, but I think that it's well done overall. My thoughts on, the price, and my, final thoughts are, for they up the price a little bit. It's $70 for 30 mils or $110 for 50. You're getting into the mid grade, or kind of it deeper into the niche. So you got to be critical of the fragrances. You got to really, have a great fragrance on the scene to really get that respect, and really get, that kind of attention, and that, people actually going out and being willing to pay for your fragrance. All these fragrances from this house are fairly well done. They're fairly well composed, and I think that they are well done fragrances. But this one for me isn't my style. I know that somebody out there is going to like it, but for me, once again, it's just not something that I fell head over in love with. But for somebody, this is worth the money. I think that this is probably one of the best modern chypres on the market. And I'm not just saying that because, again, these were sent to me and they want their name out there. I'm being serious, guys. I've smelled some chypres here and there. I've smelled some ones from the past. I've smelled some ones that are supposed to smell, chypre-like. This is one of the best interpretations of that kind of DNA that I've ever smelled. Some of them use Immortelle. I usually dislike Immortelle even more. So some of the ones that have that chypre-like quality with Immortelle, they work even less for me than this one. But so take this with a grain of salt. I'm not going to be negative on it. It's just not my style. Ladies, some of y'all are going to love this fragrance out there. And honestly, for some of the prices, again, I have a hard time justifying a fresh fragrance for being expensive. To me, citruses should cost less. I know florals can be terribly expensive, but again, a lot of florals to me shouldn't really cost as much as they should, but they do. Some florals are so expensive, and this fragrance brings it to you. I mean, people go out there and go gaga for Maison Francis Kurkdjian Aquatics, and Aquatics from Tom Ford that lasts 4 hours, and they'll pay $300. Is this worth the money? I'm going to say it is. I kind of gave Viola maybe a little bit of a hard time, and there's some of these that aren't my favorites, but this is a good brand, and they came out with a solid release, and I can't deny it. So take this with a grain of salt if you like. It's a good fragrance. Let me know what you think about this house and this brand. How does it sound? How does it feel? In the comment section below. These are high concentrations again. Performance is here. Smell is here. Creativity. I mean, I can't ask for a lot more. There is a little bit of a floral, not almost like a floral, maybe a little bit of a powdery heart to a lot of these fragrances to me that comes through. I don't know if it's intentional or not. I don't know if it's a core DNA of lots of these fragrances, but the fragrance style, maybe it's just the perfumer and their style, and they always create fragrances that have this kind of feeling, but they almost have a little bit of like an airy, powdery nature about them, and it certainly does make you smell very clean. So, interesting fragrance, well done, well composed. Good job, Sense by Bay. Thank you for sending this my way. Thank y'all for watching, everybody. Let me know, what do you think about this fragrance? Have you heard about this brand? Is this something that you might be interested in? And what do you think about chypres in general? Are chypres something you're interested in? Are chypres something you care about? And I'll see you next time, everybody. I wish you the very best. Be safe. Be careful out there. Be smelling great. And I have linked this fragrance, non-affiliate link, none of that, in the description below. So see you next time, everybody. Wish you the very best. Stay safe. Stay well. And bye.